All right, I am so excited. I am super excited. That music always gets me going. Always gets me going. Welcome everyone to Trade and Travel Virtual Graduation 2022. So excited to see you all. I see everyone on YouTube. Go ahead and type one in the chat if you're excited to be here with us, please. Yep, I'm starting to see the comments roll in. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, we're going to get started. Thank you all for attending this graduation with us this evening, this Saturday. Um, Super excited for you to meet some of our team members for Trade and Travel. Super excited for you to meet some of the students that are in the Trade and Travel community, so you can feel and see how wonderful Trade and Travel has changed their lives. And I'm super excited for you all to see and hear from Teri. This is just a great day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I always like to start off with a cool icebreaker. So I have something really cool planned for everyone. If you have your cell phone, go ahead and get your cell phone out. I'm going to start sharing my screen here because we're going to play a little trade and travel activity, a little trade and travel trivia here. All right, so if you have your phone out, what I need you all to do is you're going to visit the website www.kahoot.it, www.kahoot.it, and you'll type in the game pin. Once you type in the pin number, you'll be able to go ahead and type in your name. And as I start to see people populate, that'll let me know that we're ready to start going here. So again, we're going to visit www.kahoot.it, and you're going to type in the number 553-1443. Perfect. I'm starting to see folks roll in. Now we can fit up to 1,000 people on a game at once. So let's see how many trade and travel students we can get in at once here. Got some cool trivia questions. So I want to see who knows the most about trade and travel and Teri. We'll see if you've really been doing your homework.
Oh, goodness, about me too? Oh, goodness.
All right, a few more minutes. We're up to 120 people. So how this works, this is a game based on speed and if you can get the correct answer. So let's say it takes you 10 seconds to answer correctly. Well, whoever answered within 2 seconds will receive more points than you. All right, so we want to make sure that we're reading the question, which will show up on my computer screen, and the answer will reflect in a shape. So based on your phone, you will select the corresponding shape as your answer. No worries, I know that sounds confusing, so I have a trial run question for us first. All right, let's see if we can get to 200. I see 170. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So again, you're going to read the question. The question will prompt up. You'll then have about 10 or 20 seconds to answer the question based on the shape on your phone. All right, so everyone ready? All right, here we go. So question 1, this is just a starter question for us here. In what year did you join Trade and Travel? So go ahead and select the year. There's no right or wrong answer, but you can see how the shapes will correspond based on the shapes on your phone. We only got 7 people that answered. So you see how fast it is. That one was really fast, but the next few questions will give you about 20 seconds to answer. All right. Everyone ready? Here we go. Next question. Now the real quiz begins. All right. DK Watts is in the lead early on. Here we go. True or false? Teri left her job as a school teacher to become a full-time trader. All right. Got 10 seconds. All right, true. Come on now, for the 23 folks that got that one wrong, we got to pay closer attention to our master teacher here. So let's see who's on the leaderboard.
I think there's a little lag between us and Zoom and YouTube. Can we give them a little more time?
Okay, I'm not sure if I can.
Okay.
I'll see if I can pause the question before they can answer. I'll try that on the next one.
That'll work.
Oh, there's a delay. Okay. All right, true or false? Trade and Travel has taught over 1,000 students how to make $1,000 in a day. Oh, and it's not letting me pause. Oh, there is a delay. I see it. Okay, okay. Let's see who's in the lead. Old Gold is running away with it so far. Okay, we're going to our next question here. What is Teri's favorite stock to trade? We have Apple, Netflix, Tesla, or Amazon. Oh, Netflix. How do you feel about that, Teri?
Netflix is cool, but it's definitely Amazon. I know which one is not. It is not Tesla.
Cool. All right, Old Gold is still hanging on. I believe we have 2 more questions left. What city did Teri host Trade and Travel Live in 2022? Was it LA, Dallas, Miami, or Atlanta? All right. Miami. I think that's the Atlanta folks saying they want you to come to Atlanta, Teri.
Y'all trying to send subliminal messages.
All right, here we go. I believe this may be the last question. Oh no, we have one more after this. Which news outlet recently recognized Teri for her amazing accomplishments? Was it the LA Times, Twitter, Black Enterprise, or Google? That's right. Teri was just recognized for the 40 under 40. She was on the same list with one of her idols, Steph Curry. I saw that. So again, congrats, Teri, for being recognized for Black Enterprise 40 under 40.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And then our last one here. Which stock did Teri trade when she made her first $1 million profit in a single day? All right, we got a second chance at this one. Was it Google, Amazon, Adobe, or AMD? Amazon, not Adobe. I'm starting to see the answers on YouTube as well. But yes, Teri made her first $1 million in a day trading Amazon stocks. Awesome. Let's see who our winner is. All right, coming in third place, we have Q. And then second place, we have Maychild. And then first place held on for the almost entirety of the quiz or the trivia game was Old Goat. So congrats to you. And I see Justin Steiner's coming in on the podium in fifth place. So congrats to everyone. So just wanted to give everyone an inside scoop. One of the things that really separates our community is the fact that we do have a community. And that our wonderful master teacher, Teri, is very much so involved in helping us along the way. So really cool things lined up for the end of the year and bringing in the new year. So thank you again for everyone participating in the trivia there. All right, so the next phase, I'm really super excited about this next phase of the graduation. For those of you that don't know, I was a prior student or still am a student, joined the course of June of 2020, but I really wanted to take the time to bring on a few students that have just joined our community so they can give you all an inside scoop in terms of how trade and travel has benefited their life and how it's changed and how they've grown as a trader. So we have them here with us today or this evening. So let's see, without further ado, let's go ahead and ask Jess G. So Jess G, are you there? Jessica?
Okay, I didn't know I had to unmute. I'm here. Hello.
Okay, perfect. So Jessica, I just want you to share with everyone watching with us on YouTube what trade and travel means to you, what stands out for you in terms of trade and travel, and some of the success stories that you've had since joining the program.
Yeah, so I just signed up last January. I had a job. I was working I'm a sports massage therapist, and COVID really made my career difficult. So I was trying to find a way where I could work without being face to face with people. I heard Teri on a podcast, and my mind was blown. So I started getting into the curriculum of IWT. I very quickly jumped into VIP, just because where the market was going, I felt like I needed to be able to have access to all the different strategies. Everybody that knows me is so surprised that I'm so excited about this. I'm like, it's math and numbers. That's not usually my kind of thing. But I've gotten to a place where I think I've told you before, Chris, I said I'm also a big dumb jock. Like, I'm kind of an old lady to a lot of you guys. I'm almost 50, but I'm an endurance athlete. And I found that like a lot of this is very similar to how I train for a race. It's like I need a routine. I watched the Andrea's momentum class, and like every day I wake up, I go into Forex Factory, I do FinViz, I do my charts, I look at the indices, like I have a schedule now, and that's kept me on track. And then it's instead of like, it's all about time on feet when I'm running miles, it's all about time on feet, like I have to be in the sim account. And I just try to spend as much time as I can, because although we're here for graduation, like this is just the beginning. But in this last year, I've gotten comfortable enough where I've been able to, I've been messaging, I've been pulling off my at least 1%, sometimes 4%, And the only people that know this are my little misfit study group, Fatu and Kath. But next Saturday, my husband and I are officially taking off to Ecuador for the winter because I want to double time with the class and curriculum. So we're just going to take the winter off and I'm going to do all the classes. I'm going to get some more Nina in my life because I never got to go to hers because of my schedule. But I'm just really excited to have the freedom to be able to have a job where, guess what, if COVID comes back, I can still go to work because I can be wherever I am on the globe and come in here and be responsible for making income to support, my family. So it's exciting.
Awesome. Awesome. How about this? I have a question for you. Up to this day, what has been your most exciting trade?
I was trying so hard to make the $1,000 in a day club. And I kept coming just below. And then I had that, I bought a put on ALB.
Okay.
And my first time I made $2,600. Like I skipped right over the $1,000 a day. And I was just like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
Awesome.
And and honestly, some of my best trades, this sounds weird, but some of my best trades have been the ones where I lost because I can go back and analyze that and then have like this big aha moment of like, oh, okay, like I just lost some money, but I just got a lot more confident about how to do that next time. So it's a learning experience, and I try to take the positive out of every trade that I make because I either make money or I learn something really important.
Yeah,
So
love that mindset.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Okay, let's see. So the next person that I like, thank you again, Jessica, for that.
Thank
The
you.
next person that I would like to bring up on the stage to share their experience, DK, are you there?
Yes, Chris, how are you?
All right, I'm doing well. How's it going?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. Hello to all of our trading cousins who have completed the course and who have joined the $1,000 in a day club.
Perfect. Well, hey, man, I've been hearing nothing but great things about you from Nina. So why don't you go ahead and share with everyone watching here with us on YouTube, what's been your experience with trade and travel? What are some things that you've learned in terms of maybe outside of trading? How has that affected your life outside of trading? And share with everyone your most exciting trade.
Yeah, sure. Well, I joined Black Friday of last year, so I'm about 11 months into the course. I started with TNT, and then, kind of as Jess was mentioning, as the market shifted, I realized I needed to join VIP. So in February, I upgraded to VIP, and it was the best decision that I made. I quickly submerged myself into the curriculum. And, I enjoy all the different facets. And I think that's what keeps me motivated, from the coaching calls to the local meetups, to Nina's Q&A on Wednesday. And one of the things that happened is that, every once in a while, if you listen closely, Nina will drop a gem in there. And it just kind of opened my eyes that there were opportunities that maybe I wasn't taking advantage of in the market. So I think around June, I began to work on doing verticals, and that's a VIP strategy. And I really took to it, number one, because I have a demanding job, and the trading the verticals allowed me to, kind of carve out a spot in my day where I would trade. And maybe you've heard Nina talk about how she doesn't trade the entire day. She focuses in on like an hour or so throughout the day to do her trading. And, that seemed really appealing to me. And so that's what I went to focus on. So it's really taught me as far as trading to be patient, right? When I'm impatient, that's when I've had my worst losses, and to stay focused on the curriculum. I'm an engineer by trade, and I kind of veer off and want to tinker in different strategies, right? And when that happens, usually the results aren't so good. And so I end up right back at the curriculum. And so it's really important to me, the course is to have a foundation that I can come back to when you're trading, because you're going to have good days and bad days, but knowing that you have that foundation that you can stand on is really important.
Oh, Chris,
There
I
you
think
go.
you're on mute. There you go.
So, okay. So what would you say up to this point has been your most favorite trade?
Yeah, it actually happened earlier this week. And I had posted on the Telegram group. It was late in the day. I, again, tend to block off an amount of time. So it was Monday. It was between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. And it was an SPX vertical trade. And I was successfully able to execute my strategy 3 times in that block period, that 30-minute period. And that's like my bread and butter. So to know that I can go back and execute that trade 3 times, right, in like a 30-minute period was really good for me. I also will mention to you, Chris, that in our local meetup groups, we had a 1K in a day challenge within our meetup. And so we are encouraging each other, coming up with strategies, reviewing the Sunday study group tickers, and helping each other achieve the goal of 1K in a day. So hats off to the Marietta, Georgia meetup, because we've got about 3 or 4 people in our group who've gotten 1K in a day through working through the issues in the meetup.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Georgia, Marietta, more specifically, community support.
Congratulations. Good job, guys.
That's awesome. I just want people to not glaze over the fact that he made money within 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. So thank you for that, DK, and thank you for your contribution to the community. Really appreciate that. All right, Esther, I see you. Are you ready to share what Trade and Travel has done for you and share with everyone your amazing story and your progress within the community?
Sure. Hi, Harris. How are you tonight?
Doing good.
Awesome. Awesome. I have to tell you, I'm in love with this community. I am just so grateful to be here. And we joined in October of 2021. So we're part of the November 2021 cohort. So I'm officially coming up to our 1-year anniversary. And I have to say, my wife and I have done this course together. And it's been a really amazing journey. And at the same time, I'm still kind of licking my wounds and coming back from some losses, which were very much about risk management, and kind of trading really teaches you who you are, I think, and emotionally to understand how your emotions dictate your behavior. So I have learned a lot about myself on this trading journey. And I just am so grateful for the supportive community that has helped ride that wave, right? And learning about what it means to practice risk management, what it means to be able to get in and out of a trade when you're supposed to, and what happens when you don't. And when you jump into things that you don't necessarily have a full grasp of yet, and the overconfidence of, and the desire, really, right, to trade options, which is, as a VIP student, is like, give me, right? It's really exciting. But of course, when the bear market rally happens, none of us like that. So there's been a very entertaining learning curve. But that said, I feel like about 15 years ago, my spouse and I took a course that was literally 10 times the amount cost for that Trade and Travel is. And I think I've learned more in Trade and Travel, just the basic level, but even before VIP, than we learned in that first course. So, and a lot of the things that dictated the market 15 years ago don't really apply now, right? So having a system that you can depend on, that is reliable, that is repeatable, that is consistent, I feel that level of technical analysis was the missing piece for me really grasping the stock market. And I'm just really grateful. And I one day want to grow up and be like you, Chris and Andrea, and be able to be a coach and be able to share my knowledge and share my long, hard-earned wisdom trading in these streets with fellow IWT students, because this is an incredible community, and lifting each other up into financial freedom and out of exchanging our time for money is truly the secret to what is important in life. and allowing us to take care of our families, take care of our loved ones, live our lives, and be present in the joy that life can bring us, and not spend those hours a day toiling for someone else and making them money for a
Right.
pittance.
Yeah. I think you brought up a really good point, Esther, because this market it's a tough market to trade into, right? And I think one of the things that really separates our community is the fact that we have a system in place that helps us navigate through this tough market, right? And so
Absolutely.
those are some of the key points that you touched on that I know are really important for anyone that is interested in learning how to trade. Is first get the education and have an education that allows you to put a system in place. So for anyone that's out there considering or thinking about it, you're in the right place with us this evening. So thank you, Esther, for
Absolutely.
that. I really appreciate
Sure.
your transparency sharing with the community.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm muted, so sorry about that. The
No
next
worries.
person I would love to bring to the stage, really proud of her growth in the community. Can't wait for her to share her story with you all. Tamika, are you ready to share with the community?
Yes. Hey guys, happy Saturday. So I joined Trade and Travel October 2020. I was listening to the Side Hustle Pro podcast, and Teri was the visitor. And so I love Side Hustle Pro. And so I had already had Side Hustle on the brain. So had listened to so many other guests, and Teri came on. And so I had already had an interest in trading. And then when she came on, I was like, sold. It was like all the bells and whistles just went off. It was like ding, ding, ding. So I bought the course early, but I couldn't start it. So it was kind of sitting for a little while. And then I jumped into it. And then instantly I just was like, I took off. I bought VIP. I started studying. I went live January 2021. And so I started, with XPX and started doing verticals. And so I picked up in the curriculum that, hey, this is going to be my strategy. I was still working, full time. So I was like, let me stick to a strategy. Let me go with this. And, I was, kind of having good success, but gaining consistently. So that's the part that I love. If you guys know me, I love the community. What I love about Trade and Travel is the curriculum. I mean, like, I'm the type of person, it's like, I like to find my own answers. So I am constantly like, okay, let me go back. What did Teri say? What did the chart say? I just can't get enough of it. So every time I have a question, or every time I feel like I just need that extra boost of confidence, I would just go back to the curriculum. And so since I started doing verticals and then the market started to shift, I was kind of like, hold up, let me, the verticals I was getting, they were starting to, cause a little bit of nervousness. So I was like, hold on, the market is shifting, but we had the tools. So I went back. So that's when I was like, okay, let me get this shorting down, because this thing is dropping like hotcakes. And so everything I needed was just there. So I just went back to, even though I covered it in the first time, I just went back to it. Then I went to Sim, and, everything just clicked. And I'm like, okay, so here's another notch in my tool belt. So Chris, when you ask about, our most exciting trade, I know SPX, some people like it, some people don't. But, it's got me my first $20,000 in a day. So, and I know that comes from studying the charts and just sticking to the plan. And it's also, really exciting to know all the different ways that, we can use in the strategies. And of course, I love the community. I love just the idea of just continual learning and moving forward. So that's what I love about Trade and Travel. The other thing I want to say this, and I do say it respectfully, is kind of a backup point to what Esther said, is when I was looking at courses and things of that nature, it is just so comforting to see Teri's genuineness in the teaching, because, we have to be honest with ourselves. There's a lot of people out here scamming when it comes to trading. there are a lot of scammers. And I'm just so thankful that we all landed in the right place. And so that gives you another boost of confidence when someone is actually teaching you how to fish. You know, no one's trying to like email you some numbers and tell you to put this in and hit send. You know why for yourself, why you're taking this trade. And you know the risk management behind it, you know the purpose of it, and you're not relying on someone else's, cryptic message or not so good signals, so that's the part that I love. And I love the community that we're all kind of helping each other, learning from each other's learnings, each other's, experiences. Excuse me. So that helps build us up and gives us confidence as we continue on the journey. So beautiful experience for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Tamika. And she's right. She's spot on. I always tell folks the curriculum is how you learn the strategy for trade and travel, but it's all the included coaching calls that Teri has put her sweat and tears into from years in the past, how you learn how to trade, right? So you have all of that readily accessible to you. And the cool thing is we're all going through the same course and the same curriculum together. So where one person may have some uncertainty or have questions, the other person is right there along, ready to uplift and help them out. And Tamika is one of those persons in our community that's always, hey, check here, hey, look here. So again, thank you, Tamika, and congrats on the $20,000 in a day. That's nothing short of amazing. All right, cool. Our last person that I really, really am excited for everyone to hear their story. Sharon actually came to Teri's mastermind call in Puerto Rico. So Sharon, I really want you to share, most importantly, I want you to share with everyone joining us today how much you made in the market this past week, but also just kind of share your journey and your progress since joining the course.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I apologize for the picture in the back. I can't take it off.
No, it's so cute. You got to keep it.
But I'm Sharon, and I joined Trade and Travel last year. It was about June, July. And I was one of those people who sat on the course for like a couple months and didn't do anything with it. And then come September, I was like, okay, let's kind of get into it. And I placed my first trade this year in January, and things were going okay. But then the opportunity to go to Puerto Rico came up, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go, maybe I shouldn't go. But I decided to invest in myself and go over there. And it was the best decision ever because I think Jess, somebody said it earlier where, it wasn't Jess, sorry. Somebody said it earlier where trading brings out parts of you. And I had no idea that my lack of confidence or lack of belief in myself was stopping me from trading, but I knew something was. And when I was in Puerto Rico, one of my favorite sessions was one where she asked, how many of you believe you can hit 50,000 in a day? Everybody in the room put their hand up except me. And I was shocked because I thought, well, okay, I thought everybody kind of felt the way I did. So it's great to be in an environment where you were encouraged because Teri gives us the tools and it's what we do with them and consistently use them, etc. So Puerto Rico, for me, that was one of the biggest things that it gave me the confidence to know that I can do this. And then I got to go live to Miami as well. And that added to all of that. So, but to answer your first question, my best trade was this past week on Wednesday on SPX. I made 32,000 on Wednesday, which was awesome. And that was in 40 minutes. So pretty cool. Yeah.
You say 40 minutes, you made $32,000?
$2,000. It was crazy. I was just like, what? I was sitting there, I recorded it. I was like, look, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Because like, hold on, my goal had been 10 and I got out at 11. And then I was like, hold on, it's going back up. So I got back in and then turned around and yeah, 32,000. So SPX is awesome.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. That's a powerful story and a testimony. So I'm super proud of you, Sharon. That's so cool.
Cool. Wait, can I ask Sharon a question?
Mhm.
Sharon, we see the picture of your baby in the background. Like, how does making that money impact your life?
I mean, it changes a lot. It changes a lot. It's so funny because I'm already spending some of that money. uh, my daughter, small thing, she needed a bed and she'd been sleeping on a mattress, very small thing. But I was like, I hadn't gotten her a bed. It's been almost a year. She's got mattresses, great. But finally, she wanted a really, really nice mattress at bed, and I had to save for it. But after this is like, listen, we can afford to get that bed and buy it. And I told my kids as soon as they walked in through the door, I was just like, guys, come and see, come and see. And just to see them like, wow, this is possible. And my daughter's like, she's like, okay, all the money I have on Cash App, can you teach me how to trade? And, it's so cool just to be able to see, what it can do. The other thing I'm doing, which this was my goal for October, was trading to bring my parents over. They haven't seen that little one in that picture yet. And it's been almost 3 years. So now I can buy their plane tickets and we can all go on a vacation together for Christmas. So this is kind of what, trading has done for me. So thank you.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's powerful.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's so cool. So cool. So if you have not considered joining Trade and Travel, I mean, come on now. All right. Awesome. Nina is up next. She has some wonderful questions here that she would like to ask to those watching with us on YouTube and maybe even along our panel.
Hello. Oh, are you done?
No, go ahead, Nina. There we go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nina. I'm the Trade and Travel Coach. Some of y'all know me. Some of y'all join me every Wednesday from 6:30 Central to 8 o'clock. And congratulations to everybody who's finished the course. And there's people who haven't joined it. Hello to you too. I'll see y'all when y'all join. Okay, so you know those wonderful plaques that y'all got? I'm the brainchild. Okay, Teri was like, we gotta give them something. I was like, what about a plaque? So I wanna see, so who has made $1,000 live so far? You just go ahead and say, me, in the chat. Yeah? Terry, yours is
Like I have.
$1 million in a day.
Call has.
Me too. Woohoo.
Okay, so now I have another question for you. Who has made $10,000 in a day live? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay. Now, I want to know who's made the most in a day. So go ahead and put your number, the most that you've made live in the chat.
Oh,
And then you're gonna come tell us, how did you spend those funds? Okay, let me see.
I'm waiting to see the numbers.
I'm waiting for some numbers. I'm on YouTube waiting.
Me too.
Yeah, we're still on the me's. There's a lot of me's.
I'm not seeing anybody more than $10,000. Put it in the chat.
Oh, here we go. There we go.
Yeah, I'm seeing Teri. Congratulations, made
Are y'all seeing it?
1,035. Good job.
I'm not seeing anything.
Whoa,
Oh,
B said 7,000. Here they're coming. They're strolling in. Whoa, James said no. The $47. That's good. I thought it was 47,000, but it's still awesome. Any positive win is a good win. Louisa 4,000. Teresa 2,400. Joan 7,500. And
let's go.
6,000. Okay, look at y'all. 2,600.
I went.
Wow.
Okay. Emily's winning.
Look at Emily, 32,000. Uh-oh, Sharon, she might be competing against you.
I feel like we're at the bid auction here.
Anybody got 32,000? Anybody got anything else? So, okay, so it looks like Emily so far is winning. Emily, do you mind coming to the stage and telling us what did you do with the 32? If you said you put it in a savings account, I need somebody else, but let us know what you have spent this money on. Do you mind coming up to the stage, Emily, the real estate agent?
Now, I don't know how to do that. We may have to send Emily a Zoom link. Well, let me see how she comes to the stage in YouTube.
Oh, that's what I meant. If she'd have to DM one of us
Oh, okay.
to get in. Emily, if you're in the Facebook group, reach out to me or Chris or Teri.
Or if she's willing to put her contact, we can send it to
And
her.
then we can send it to you. Okay, so go ahead, while we get bring Emily to the stage, go ahead and put some things that you bought with this $1,000. Put it in the chat. Let's read it out. Let's see what y'all are doing with this money that the market has paid you. Don't tell me you gave it back. Whatever you do, just don't say you gave it back. What have y'all been using?
Oh, Emily says she sold all of her Roku and then bought them back at a cheaper price. Okay.
Emily, the $32,000?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she sold it, took her profit, and then reinvested.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I need somebody to buy a G-Wagon or something. Anybody?
Hey, Nina, don't hate on the folks who are saving for retirement, because if we can buy our retirement.
That's right.
You're buying your time. That's huge.
That is huge.
I'm just saying, what have you used it for?
Louisa says birthdays.
How are y'all seeing this before me? Okay, here we go. Okay, retirement, there we go. All right. Oh, golf cart, okay.
And shout out to Venus with the $10,560. Congratulations.
Okay, Venus Coleman. Going to Costa Rica. That's what I'm trying to. The thing is, you have to reward yourself. Yeah, you can put in retirement, but don't put everything in there. Y'all gotta do something with it. A little something.
This is trade and travel. You gotta trade in
Right.
trade in, buy a bed, trade in. Tamika, what have you used yours on? Oh, sorry, I put you on the spot.
Long-term.
And that's the great thing about this course. It definitely reveals some limiting beliefs that I have around rewarding myself. So I did help some people. I have some family and friends that I'm giving them like money towards their books that are college students. So I did help some people, but I'm still yet to like reward myself. But I'm gonna work on it though.
And then you got to give her some ideas. What can she do to reward herself?
Buy a condo in Mexico and be my neighbor. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Just buy the watch that you've always wanted to buy you know how like there's that thing. So let's say shoes. Like you've always wanted those, I don't know, red bottoms, right? You may already have them. I don't know. I can't fit European shoes because I have African feet, so I can't fit them. The Italians have skinny feet, I guess. But like, you know, in your mind, you're like, I can't spend no $950 on shoes, but now I can. You know, where there's that one thing that you've always wanted that I can't spend $2,500 on a purse. But if that was my one thing that's been in the back of my mind, like, I don't mind getting a Louis Vuitton purse. Let's see if I could trade for it. You know, where you just kind of start thinking of the things that you've always held yourself back from, you know, using your W-2 money to get, or getting the car that you've always wanted because now you can afford the note every month. Is there anything that
I agree with Tamika. I think trading also makes you more generous, because I have found myself sponsoring family members a lot more than before I started trading.
You can give better gifts too. That's something else too. Donating, giving better gifts, but you still need to do something. I think maybe I'm a selfish person. Do something.
Have that list. I just, don't pull the trigger. It's like I have all the stuff on the list that you're mentioning, but it's just like every time it's weird now that you got the money. It's like now you're like, I don't really need that person.
That's
true.
That's
and so I think at the right moment it will like push me. So I'm happy that the money is there. And so I think it'll all line up when, I'm really excited about it.
Okay. Like I said, there's still condos available, so you can come.
Are you in your condo now? Is this?
I am.
Well, you got to tell the people too that you traded for this. You traded to buy this place.
Yeah. So what happened was I gave myself a goal, came to Mexico, found this condo, and I was like, so they put you on a payment. Well, foreigners have to pay cash. I was like, well, I don't have the cash, but I know how to make the cash. So I was on like an 8-month, I think it was 8 months, 8 or 9 months. And I was like, I have to make $5,000 a month from the market in order to pay for this. And so because I had that goal, I was like, I have to be disciplined. Because when you have a W-2 and you're happy with your W-2, you're like, oh, just kind of play in the market. If I lose, I lose, I win, I win. But then I was like, oh, I have to pay this bill every month. And it's a significant amount of money. And so that's really what got me serious. And I was, then 9 months later, I have the condo. So now my next trading goal is to furnish it. So if you hear the echoes, because it ain't gonna furniture. So I'm here to put furniture in. I came down, so I traded. I'm like, okay, now I can get some couches. I have beds already. And then they don't build with the cabinets and kitchens. So if I show you my kitchen, y'all will think poorly of me. So once I get the kitchen, the cabinets done, I'll let y'all see it, and you can rent it. It's gonna be an Airbnb.
Good job on that. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
You know what? Let me tell you how I got the idea. There was I think it was an Instagram story Teri did where she was like, well, I'm just gonna trade to pay $100K a month. I was like, that's what inspired me when you went to Puerto Rico. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about trading every month to acquire a rental property. It didn't pop into my mind. So it was you who inspired me to do this. I wouldn't know $100,000, but
Puerto Rico is expensive. Yeah, my rent was $125,000 a month at my first place in Puerto Rico, the one that y'all see on YouTube. It was $125,000 a month. So I had to trade for that because otherwise I'm a saver. I'm too frugal for all that. But if I could make it in the market, then I could afford to live there. Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. And it goes back to the curriculum, because when you listen in the beginning, Teri talked about how she was trading for income, or you could trade for income. And I definitely felt like I made that mistake because I started trading, I was making money. And of course, it's a balance between building your account. But now I am on that TradeStation app, like transfer my money back to my savings. Because I think you do have to strike that balance for like trading for income, trading for your goals, and building versus like giving it back. Because I do know, it's kind of an ebb and flow, because you do have to build your discipline as well as your technical analysis when it comes to managing your money. So I was doing really great. And then it's just like, I took some losses and I realized, and I said, you know what, I have to be consistent as well about profiting from, my trades. So almost at 3:30 on Friday, I'm looking like transfer. So I think that's another great tip that was already in the curriculum, but we kind of like breeze past it and be like, oh no, I'm just going to keep winning and it'll be fine. But I love how when you go back and listen to stuff and it's like, Teri had already said this, but I just wasn't doing it.
For the people on the panel, how long did it take y'all to make your $1,000 in a day? And how did you feel? What did it make you feel when you did live? Because I know you might have started at sim and then you were able to do it live.
Well, I will start. I joined Trade and Travel in May of 2020 and upgraded to VIP in June of 2020. And I almost feel like I need to apologize because 2020 was amazing. Sorry if you weren't there, but it was amazing. And I made my $1,000 in a day pretty quickly.
I have more memory of my just first live trade in general. And I hold that very dear to my heart because I was working out. It was a gap trade on Visa and it was $35. And it was the best $35 I ever made in my life. And it just showed me that the strategy worked. And that was all I needed to see. So I remember that more than anything in my first options trade more than anything. But I hold very dear to my heart my first trade ever, which is on Visa.
Anyone else remember their first $1,000 in a day and how long it took you to get there?
All right, am I back on here now? I'm not usually in charge of my own buttons. I started off doing all the wrong things, the exact wrong things that you guys tell us what not to do in the course. I don't know if everybody goes through that, but I started off, it was over the winter where I was in a running competition where I had to like get as much vertical challenge as I could. And I entered some trades and I did not put a stop on them. And while I was running up and down that hill, I lost a lot of money. So that was when I had to get really strict with myself, with my rules. And so I had to go through the bad part first. And then I was just like very cautiously like, okay, I can make really big mistakes. So I'm going to just safely do this. And I had limits on how much I would trade and what I was doing. But I think it was like a full 6 months or so before I had that $1,000 day. And then it was like, okay, which I know I'm still going to make mistakes again, but I felt like I had to personally, I guess I've been like that ever since I was a kid. I have to break all the rules to believe that I should follow them. I don't know why I did it that way, but I learned real quick. It's like touching the hot stove. Oh yeah, that's hot. But so it took me time, but I had to learn things in my own way, I guess.
Just there's a lot of people in the chat agreeing with you. They're like, yeah, I know how that feels. Yeah. But Tina said you are not alone.
I'm like,
No, I was gonna say, I was trying to find out who else was on there. Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
cool. I was gonna say, I'm like Chris. I actually remember my first trade because it was January 15th of this year at 10:45. Tesla, I bought one stock actually, and it went up $50. And then I got out as fast as I could. Then it took me a couple days after that because I was sweating. It's crazy. But it took me a couple of days after that. And then I did an options trade on Netflix and I made like $500. And then it took me 2 weeks after that because I had done an options trade. Crazy. And on Netflix again, I made my first 1,000. So in 3 weeks after I put in my first trade, I actually made that $1,000 in a day. So.
Wow, so cool.
So I'm glad I didn't stop after that first trade because yes, I did the same thing like Jess, didn't follow the rules sometimes and that freaked me out. But once you put your stops in place like you're supposed to, know your targets, know all of this, it takes a lot of that pressure off and you're not freaking out as much. You might still at the beginning, but you have, the risk management in place, so it helps.
Okay.
Hi, Sharon. And Nina, my first $1,000 in a day live came this summer, but I will admit that I got it by being impatient, and I lost it by being impatient because I wasn't disciplined, and it was a lesson. You have these ups and downs, but I think for me, getting the $1,000 in a day and then losing $1,000 in a day, was a huge lesson for me, and it taught me that I can be successful, but that I have to incorporate the patience, I have to incorporate the discipline, and sometimes my personality gets in the way. But if I fight through that and I maintain my vigilance, I can create steady income, and that's been my goal ever since. And I've been very successful in creating that steady flow of income every week.
All right, thank you. There's some things that I heard some of y'all bring up, which was discipline, patience, and I think Tamika mentioned earlier about withdrawing money. So that helps. One, there's two different selves that occur when you trade. There's your regular self, who might be a bubbly, joyful person, and there's your trader self, who is hateful to companies that didn't know do anything against you. You're greedy, you're impatient, and you're hateful. But your regular self is not like that. So you start to kind of try to figure out, how do I get my trader self just a little bit more in balance with being patient, exercising discipline, what's the other thing? Confidence. If you lack confidence, all these things actually harm you. And they show up when you start trading, which they may not be there in your regular self, but they start to show up. So trading teaches you a lot about you. And then when you talked about winning, then losing, I had that same experience where when the VIX was at like 45 or something, I was doing verticals. And at that time for vertical traders, I was getting like $1.50 being far away. So you're like, oh my God, I just made $1,500 in 45 minutes. Like you just start calculating how you're going to be a millionaire in the next 252 days. You start calculating all these things. And then the market shifted because I didn't know about season. I didn't know anything. And then it snatched all my coins and my grandma's coins. Everybody generationally, it took it. Just reached back into my ancestry and took everybody's coins. So I learned now that once I make that money on Friday, I'm pulling the money out. The market will not, NYSE will not take my money back. But it's just something to know. You start learning these things as you go along, like in order to keep the money, pull out the money. Okay, so that's really it. I see there's people in here. Let's see what we got in the chat. What have y'all learned since you've made your $1,000 live? Let's see what y'all have learned.
Can I share a lesson on Nina?
Go ahead.
I remember much more clearly the first time I made 5 figures in a day. And I literally stared at my account like, oh my God, and I showed people and I took pictures, and I watched it decrease. I was in such shock that I did not lock in the gains. So one of the things that I've learned is if your account gets to a point where you're like, oh my God, that's when it's time to lock in your gains and move your money. So that was a huge lesson for me.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we've heard from everybody, and just know for those of you who are still in SIM or just joined the course or thinking about it, $1,000 in a day is possible. And you just have to, you'll get there. You just have to keep going and know that there's going to be a trader self that shows up, but you're going to have to deal with lack of patience, lack of confidence, lack of discipline. All those things show up, and mindset. Having a shift in mindset that you can do it. And then your limiting beliefs will start to show up. Those are things obstacles you'll have to overcome, but it is very possible. So that's all. I have.
And I can make some words before we wrap. Is that all right?
Yep, go for it, Teri.
I just wanted to congratulate all of you all. Like literally when the students on the panel were sharing your stories, I was dropping some tears. It has been such a pleasure to know that the work that we've done has impacted your lives in such big ways. Like it's just simply amazing. But the bigger thing is just knowing the discipline that you all have had to do something to invest in yourselves, like going through the course, watching the curriculum. I heard you all say like rereading it, going back to certain sections, seeing like, oh, Teri said it, but you had to kind of re-listen to it. And sometimes you don't hear it the first time. After you've watched the course and then started actually trading for yourself, then all of a sudden the course starts sounding completely different. It's like reading the Bible again and again. You're like, I didn't catch that the last time. I didn't know it was even there. But every time, because you've grown, it'll start speaking differently to you. So I just really appreciate you all's dedication. Thank you for the coaches too. I love how everyone's like, yeah, Nina Nation and Chris and Andrea, and I was on this call and doing that. Like our community and our coaches, like the dedication that all of you all have has led to over 600 people being able to graduate this year, and for us to be able to celebrate them even in this celebration. So to all my graduates, I just want to say, keep going through the course, keep trading, keep learning. There will always be new stuff to learn as a trader, but even with that, like you could do the same thing. Like you could trade one stock in and out of it and be successful. Just learning how to be consistent and disciplined with that one strategy is going to take you to places you never thought possible. And just know that we do have much more in store. I'm literally like recording all kinds of new stuff. We're planning for Trade and Travel 2.0. We're doing all these things to continue to help you all, but it starts first with just the commitment that you all made to yourself. So congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and keep going with all of your success and your learnings, because that's success too. You're learning how to be a better trader. So keep it up. I'll pass it back to you, Chris.
All right, so now is the moment of truth. If you have your cap, your gown, and you are watching us live, go ahead and change it over. Congrats for graduating. Here are all the graduates from the year 2022. All right, everyone, congrats. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Have a great night. Anyone want to say any parting words? Oh, I do want to add one more thing for everyone. If you have your course certificate, our hashtag for graduation is #TNTgrad. All right, so I want to see that everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all all over the social media platforms, hashtag TNT grad. Go ahead and repost your course certificate, your $1,000 in a day plaque. And we look forward for you to join us in Trade and Travel 2.0 maybe.
And Chris, I was going to say for anybody out there that's thinking about signing up for this that hasn't, I didn't know anything about trading. I hadn't done anything financial ever at all in my entire life. So like, you just need to show up. You can't do this without showing up. That's all you have to do.
That's good. Thanks, Jess. That's good.
Thank you all again. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Happy graduation. Congratulations.
Congratulations.